Who will be UFC champion December 31st, 2025? Part 1. For Part 1, we will be discussing all three of the women's divisions inside the UFC, starting with strawweight, then flyweight, and then finishing with bantamweight. First, in the strawweight division, we have Zhang Weili as the -150 betting favorite to be the strawweight champion at the end of 2025, and heading into 2025, not only is she the current strawweight champion, but she has her first title defense of the year set, and that is against Tatiana Suarez, who you see is slated at a +140, the second best odds in the division. The winner of that fight in February at UFC 312 could go a long way, considering Zhang Weili only fought one time in 2024. The winner of that fight in February could potentially ride off into the end of the year as the champion without having to fight a second time. Other names worth noting: Yan Xiaonan, someone who challenged for the title in 2024. We have Virna Jandiroba, who's on the best win streak of her career. And two names worth mentioning since they are scheduled to have the first fight of 2025 in terms of a main event: Mackenzie Dern and Amanda Ribas. Next, we move into the women's flyweight division, where the current champion Valentina Shevchenko is the -125 betting favorite. She won the title in September at Noche UFC and dethroned Alexa Grasso in their trilogy match. The second best odds go to Manon Fiorot at +200, who is the likely next challenger for Valentina Shevchenko, the first defense of her second title reign. We have Erin Blanchfield, who just recently bounced back from her first UFC loss. We have Natalia Silva, who is 6 or 7-0 in the UFC. We have Macy Barber, who has won 6 fights in a row herself. And one thing to really keep in mind right there is the +1000 betting odds for Zhang Weili to be the flyweight champion at the end of 2025. If she successfully defends her title in February at 115, do we see her make her way up to 125 and go for the double champ status? And lastly, we have the women's bantamweight division, as Kayla Harrison comes in as a -300 heavy favorite to be the champion at the end of the year, probably the heaviest of all divisions right now if I had to guess. And while the fight is not scheduled, it is all but assumed that she will be facing Juliana Pena for Pena's first title defense. Pena there at +300 to be the champion at the end of the year. And of course, the most intriguing thing about this whole list is Amanda Nunes, who is currently retired, sits with the third best odds, currently +500. Will she come out of retirement to face the winner of Kayla Harrison and Juliana Pena? That's the biggest question for the women's bantamweight division in 2025.